Hello everyone and welcome to our daily daf thought for Berachos daf Chav Gimel. So the Gemara on daf Chav Gimel Amar Aleph brings down over here a pasuk from Kehelis. The pasuk says, here the Gemara says, V'am Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani, Am Rabbi Yonasan. My diksiv, this that the Torah writes, Shmar raglecha, you should guard your foot. Kasher telech el beis ha'elokim, when you go to Hashem's house. Shamar atzmacha, what does this pasuk mean? Shamar atzmacha, guard yourself, shaloi techeta, that you should not do any averos. Ve'im techeta, and if you do an aveirah, have carbon lefanai, bring a carbon to me. Come to the Beis HaMikdash and bring a carbon. V'karav lishmaya, and you should come close to listen. So, if you take a look at the pasuk in Kehelis, the pasuk in Kehelis in full says, it's in Kehelis Parak Daled, pasuk Yud Zayin, Shemar raglecha, you should guard your foot, kasher telech al beis ha'elokim, when you go to the Rabbeinu Shalom's house, v'karoiv l'shmaya, and you should come close to listen, miteis haksilim zavach, rather than to give the sacrifice of a fool, ki einam yoidim la'asais ra, who don't even know, they don't even realize that they're doing evil. What does this pasuk mean? So the Gemara here is telling me, it means, Shmar raglecha, guard your foot, that you should not do any aveirahs. Kasher telech el beis ha'elokim, if you do an aveirah, go to the Rabbeinu Shalom's house, go to the Beis HaMikdash. And when you go to the Beis HaMikdash, v'karoiv l'shmaya, you should come close to listen. What does that mean, to come close to listen? So it struck me, we have a pasuk in Parshas Tzav. Parshas Tzav, the pasuk says, "Vayidaber Hashem al Moshe lemar, Tzav es Aharon ve'es banav lemar." You should command Aaron HaKohen and his children, saying, "Zois Teiras ha'olah." This is the law of the carbon oila. Now, a carbon oila was unique. Carbon oila was a carbon where the entire animal was burnt on the mizbeach. The most carbonis, the kohen got some of the meat to eat. The owners of the carbon, the one who was bringing the carbon, ate some of the meat. But by a carbon oila, it's kulei kalil. The whole thing was burnt on the mizbeach. So Rashi says in Parshas Tzav, Ein Tzav elaloshan ziruz. This language of Tzav, command Aaron and his children, is a lashon that connotes zrizus. It's urging the kaihanim. Miyad u'ladairis, forever. Reb Shimon says, why does the Torah have to use the word tzav, this lashon ziruz, this extra urging to the kaihanim? Why does it use it by the carbon oila? Because b'yoser tzarech hakasav lezares, the pasuk has to be mizares the kaihanim. It has to urge on the kaihanim b'makom sheyesh by chisaron kis, when we have a mitzvah that's going to entail significant financial loss. Now, the simple understanding of that is, like I said, a carbon oila, the entire animal is kulei kalil. The whole thing is burnt up on the mizbeach. If somebody brings a carbon shlamim, so the kahanim will look at the shlamim and they say, all right, listen, I'm going to get something to eat from it. The bailam are going to get something to eat from it. But by this carbon oila, the whole thing, you have $1,000 animal, and the whole thing is being burnt up on the mizbeach. So it's a mitzvah sheyesh by chisaron kis. All of this money is lost. So we have to be mizaris the kahanim. We have to be mizaris them. Don't look at this mitzvah as being a waste. No, you should look at it as being productive. Rav David Feinstein, asked a kasha. He said, is the carbon oil the only mitzvah sheyesh by chisaron kis? There's a lot of mitzvahs that we spend a lot of money on. I always say that when it comes to Pesach and Shmura matzah costs more than baby lamb chops. And yet people go out and they buy plenty of Shmura matzah for them and their families for Pesach. You go ahead and you buy lulav and esrog. And nowadays, most people buy lulav and esrog for their children, for everybody. A tremendous amount of money. Tefillin are very expensive. So there's a lot of mitzvahs that entail the spending of a lot of money, and yet we don't have a lashon ziruz. The pasuk doesn't go out of the way to say tzav by these mitzvahs. It's over here by the carbon oila that we have this lashon of tzav. So Reb David said there's a big difference. He says, what does it mean that the carbon oila is a mitzvah sheyesh b'chisaron kis? It's not just that the whole animal gets burnt up and the kind looks at it as we're destroying a whole animal. It's much more than that. A carbon oila, there's a carbon oila when somebody brings a behema gasa, he brings a cow, to the Beis HaMikdash as a carbon. There are other types of carbon oilers that could be brought. Somebody who doesn't have that much money could bring lesser carbonas. Who brings a behemoth gasa, a cow, as a carbon oiler? Somebody who has plenty of money. And why is he bringing a carbon oiler? So we know a carbon oiler sometimes is brought when somebody was mevatel and asay. Somebody had a mitzvah asay that he was able to do. He didn't do the mitzvah asay. So to get a carbon, to get kapara for not doing that mitzvah asay, he brings a carbon oiler. It's also brought down, somebody will bring a carbon oiler for a machshava of an aveirah. Somebody had a hearer aveirah. He thought to do an aveirah, even if he didn't actually do the aveirah, but he had a thought to do an aveirah. So to get kapara for that hearer, he brings a carbon oiler. The kohen is in the Beis HaMikdash. He sees this rich fellow walk in with a nice, beautiful, big animal, and he says, I'm here to bring a carbon oiler. All right. The kohen takes the animal. He goes through the whole procedure. He brings the carbon oiler. 2 weeks later, the same wealthy fellow is back in the Beis HaMikdash. He's bringing another carbon oiler. The kohen looks at him. He says, what are you doing here? You were here 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I had a hearer aveirah. I thought about doing an aveirah. I want to get a kapara. I'm bringing another carbon oiler. 2 weeks later, he's back with another carbon. The kohen looks, and the kohen says, look what a waste this is. The fellow is not learning anything. He's not doing any tshuva. What he's doing is chas v'chalila, he thinks he's buying off the Rebbeinu Shalom. He's doing whatever he wants to do. He's doing things wrong. And he's coming to the Beis HaMikdash with a nice, big, beautiful animal. He comes, he says, I bought the most expensive cow in the pen for my carbon oiler. So he thinks he's buying off the Rebbeinu Shalom. The kohen looks at this, he says, this is what I'm spending my time on. This is mamish, it's halach le'ibud. This is an animal that's kulei kalal, and for what? It's for nothing. It's not accomplishing anything. Therefore, the pasuk says, Tzaves Aaron, Lashon Zirizus. You have to be mizaris the kohen, that the kohen should not let it be a waste. The Rebbeinu Shalom says, why am I bringing the kohen to the Beis HaMikdash? Why am I bringing this fellow to the Beis HaMikdash to bring a carbon? You think I'm bringing him to bring a carbon because I need the animal? I don't need the animal. The animal is kulei kalal. The whole thing is being burnt up on the mizbeach. I'm bringing this fellow to the Beis HaMikdash, kohen, because I'm bringing him to you. That's why I'm bringing him to the Beis HaMikdash. I want him to come to the Beis HaMikdash. I want him to be exposed to the Beis HaMikdash. I want him to be exposed to the environment of the Beis HaMikdash. I want him to see Nisim in the Beis HaMikdash. And I want him to come to the Kehanim. I want him to come to the Kehanim and to the Leviim, so that the Kehanim and the Leviim, who are the teachers of Klal Yisrael, you should come to them and you should talk to them and you should say, Reb Yid, why are you here again? Why are you here for the second time this month? Don't you realize that you have to do tshuva? Don't you realize that you're doing something wrong? What could we do to help you? What could we do to uplift you? Are you learning Torah? Are you being Isaac in mitzvahs? What are you spending your time on? That's why we have aziras, the by Tzaves Aaron. And if you understand that way, then this Gemara is actually beautiful. The Gemara over here is telling you, Shmar Raglecha, guard your foot, that you should not do any aveirahs. If you do an aveirah, Kasher Telech al Beis Elikim, go to the Beis HaMikdash and bring your carbon, like the Gemara says, have a carbon lefanai. But don't just bring a carbon. That's not the end. The end isn't just bring the carbon. The point is, have a carbon lefanai v'karav l'shmaya. That's what the point is. The point is, come to the Beis HaMikdash and bring your carbon and be karev l'shmaya. Come close to listen to the Kehanim and to the Leviim and to learn the lessons that you need, so that you should not have to come back and bring korbanos in the future. You should be able to do tshuva. I hope you enjoy this. Everyone should have a wonderful day, and the schus of Limud Torah should stand you in good stead. Be well.